Hello friends, week 6 is over and done. So this week has been a pretty stress-free and very fun week. On Sunday, we traveled from Nikiana on Lefkada to Vasiliki and stayed on the island of Lefkada, all in Greece. So it's been so amazing. So nothing really amazing has happened with the trip. Like, the trip has been great. It's been very stress-free. Everything has been going wonderfully. But while I was gone, my youngest daughter got bit by my dog. She was trying to take a piece of trash away from my dog, and then my dog bit her, which is concerning, definitely. So the bite broke the skin, and I was really worried about her going to the emergency room and getting that checked out. And I had to hassle her a lot to get her to go because she didn't want to miss work, which is awesome. She has a very good work ethic, but I was worried about that being so far away in Greece. And then I could have given my oldest power of attorney for medical care. I didn't do that. I just felt a little bit irresponsible and guilty about that whole scenario. And then also I felt like my children were not really taking it seriously and getting things done. So that was a challenge that I went through. As far as that, I'm just looking at my schedule for this week, lots of fun things, some sailing, being on the boat, going to beautiful ports, having amazing Greek meals. Everything was going really well. The other challenge that I had this week would be, one was guilt for my daughter, and number one, her getting bit by my dog. I felt responsible for that. I feel like I could do a better job training my dog, and then also I felt responsible for that situation happening in the first place. And then also drinking a little bit too much wine, having way too much fun, I think. One night I drank too much and didn't quite remember the details of the evening. The next morning, oh, do I still have my purse? And, did I lose anything? So thankfully everything went well, but still, that needs to change. And then also a couple of nights at anchor, for those of you who are not sailors, whenever you are at anchor, your boat moves around a lot, and sometimes they can be really rolly anchorages, which it was. And so I had that experience where I was at a really rolly anchorage and couldn't really sleep that well. Somebody's mooring right next to me. Okay, moving on. So during the anchorage, whenever the water was really rolly, I started just having all kinds of crazy thoughts, like, what if there's a tidal wave, and what happens if you're at anchor and there's a tidal wave? How does that go? I'm pretty sure that would be disastrous, but weird that was even in my mind. And then I started thinking, well, the boat's unlocked, it's open, so we could get attacked by pirates, or I don't know, just every negative thought that I could think of was just rolling through my mind. And I could not sleep all night. So that was a very uncomfortable feeling. And those were the main things for this week. Just feeling guilty, feel a little bit of regret, and then also the negative thinking, catastrophe thinking that I went through. So here are Bashar's teachings. They kind of helped me to reflect on the thoughts that I was having, the experiences that I was having in regards to the dog bite and my worries about this. I need to trust the path that not only that my dog is on, because animals have their own life paths as well. So trusting my dog's path, and then also my children's path, and then also just trusting my children. I have 2 adult children and then one that's almost an adult, and so they should be able to take care of things on their own. So just releasing that, letting them take care of things, also doing my part, making sure that I have the medical insurance information passed along, and so on and so forth. But just trusting everybody's path and involved, including mine. As far as the dog bite, just trusting that something positive will come out of this. One positive that I can think of is that I'm going to work a lot harder whenever I get home to train my dog, and then also my grand dog who spends a lot of time with me, because both of them do a lot of barking and they have some other behaviors that they need some help on. So I want to do a better job in regards to that. So drinking too much, what Bashar says is you are a new person billions of times per second. The reason that we experience time and change is because we are actually shifting through parallel realities billions of times per second. So if I see something that I'm doing in my life that I don't like, then I can decide to change it at any time. And once I do make that decision, then that's it. That's the end of the process. So there's no like long process that I need to go through in order to change my behavior. I can just decide that I'm a new person in the next minute, make a different choice, and go on with my life. So that's kind of what I decided that I'm going to do as far as that. I'm going to be a person that can maintain a high vibe state without excessive alcohol consumption. Worrying about things that I can't control, such as tsunamis and pirate attacks. And this is just so crazy because it is not really like me. I don't tend to catastrophize or worry about things that I can't control. However, I don't fly on an airplane every day. I'm not sailing all the time. So I think like lately a lot of things have been happening due to my vacation that are things that I don't experience in my day-to-day life, and so that's probably the reason why I'm feeling this like lack of control. So what I decided is, from Bashar's teaching, he says to let fear be the messenger. So okay, fear, I hear you. I understand that you have this message for me, that I'm scared about this situation, so on and so forth. Be excited about it. Thank the fear too. So thank you, fear, for letting me know that. I know that I have a negative belief system that I need to work on, and I need to take a look at it. So how am I defining these incidents? Because your definitions create your feelings create your thoughts, and your actions. So how can I define this differently? So I can just think of this as a positive thing that came up to help me realize that I have fear-based definitions, limiting definitions, and somehow somewhere I'm holding on to a belief that is out of alignment with my true self. So that is why I'm experiencing that resistance known as negative emotion. So fear is the energetic resistance to the natural self by holding on to a belief that's out of alignment. What would I need to believe about myself in this situation in order to feel fear? So some things that I came up with is, number one, I believe that I'm at the mercy of the elements. So that's a valid experience or feeling. A way that I could reframe that into something more positive, that also I believe, and that would make sense in this situation, is I am an eternal being who has chosen this incarnation, and that I am not at anyone's mercy because I have chosen this experience from my higher self. So everything that I experience in my human form, on some level, I have already agreed to play out. So in that case, I have I'm empowered. I have all of the power from my higher self. So I just have to trust that, and trust my higher self that he, she, it knows what the plan is for Lisa Trevero. I believe that I don't have control over this situation. That was the second thing that I came up with, and that could be seen as true in a way. It's a valid perspective. However, I'm using 100% of my control from higher perspective to have the experience of not being in control. So really, ultimately, I have the ultimate control of everything that's happening in my life. And the third thing, I don't trust my life to unfold in the way that allows me to get what I need. So a way to reframe that is to change that. Yes, I trust my life to unfold in natural ways that allow me to have my needs met, and to have most of the things that I want, which I do. I believe that to be true. So those are the things that I went through. Those were my challenges and the teachings that helped me along the way. So some positive outcomes for the week. My daughter was able to get the medical care that she needed for the dog bite, so that's awesome. My son ended up helping out and taking her to the doctor. All that was taken care of. The night that I did overindulge and have too much alcohol, nothing bad happened. You know, everything went fine. As far as my fearful thoughts about, you know, being swept away by a tidal wave or attacked by pirates, none of that came to pass, so I'm still here making this video. But the positive thing that came out of that is that I have a better understanding of myself. So I love doing these videos because they allow me to think more deeply about my life experiences, and when negative things come up, instead of just like brushing them under the rug, I am going through and thinking about them and questioning my beliefs and reframing them and staying in a positive state. So these videos are helping me out so much. I hope that somebody will also find them useful, but if not, I know there's one person, myself, who's getting some benefit out of them, so that makes it worth it. So yeah, that was week 6. I thought everything went great, and I am looking forward to week 7 and following Bashar's work, just getting better and better every week. Thank you.